Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Got you your latest forecast on a Tuesday. Yesterday, cooler than average by 6 degrees in Charleston for both the high and the low. Got to 69 for our high and just enough rain for a number. 1/100th of an inch recorded at the gauge at Charleston. Today we're dry, plenty of sunshine. Fair to mostly sunny skies for our area today. Up in high elevations, started the day with another one of those frost advisory and freeze warnings. We have a warming trend on the way and also a cold front on the way tomorrow. So I'll be timing multiple rounds of rain and potential thunderstorms. Later in the afternoon, we are included most of the state. Find your spot on the map here. Marginal risk in the dark green for isolated severe storms. Damaging winds will be a possibility with any isolated severe storm potential tomorrow. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Chicago, they got a marginal risk today. They're near 77, then 61 behind the front the next day. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 70 to the north, dry, sunny to mostly sunny, and likely dry tonight. Slight chance of a shower late before rain showers become likely for the morning, and then later in the afternoon with that risk of severe. Eastern areas, some 60s out there. Elsewhere, far eastern portions of the state, low to mid 70s today with sunshine. Lows in the 50s, not nearly as cold tonight. From east to west, a lot of 70s in here, some middle and upper 70s, and lows around 50 or so tonight, so not nearly as cold. For southern areas, some mid to upper 70s to the west. Charleston near 78 for your high and 54 for your low overnight. So becoming cloudy, multiple rounds of showers and storms. Possible for Wednesday, breezy southwest winds, dry 63 on Thursday in Charleston, and then warmer from there. Very slight chances for showers and storms as we heat up, 92 on Sunday, and potentially some daily record heat early next week, 94 on Monday, potentially with sunshine for your early next week.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
From West Virginia's capital city, with news from across the state, this is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
It is a Tuesday afternoon. It is Primary Tuesday across the great state of West Virginia. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. 70 Pauly, Ryan Nichols, and our producers today. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
Well, I actually got to step outside the building during the break. I arrive at the radio ranch here in Charleston, normally about 7 or so in the morning. There's a lot of times I do not leave all day. My office doesn't have a window. We don't have a window in this palatial studio here, which is, I really like, by the way. And so during the break there, I made it a point to step outside and, just take it all in. It is a beautiful day in West Virginia. Polls open until 7:30 tonight, so get out there and make your voice heard. Then join us tonight at 7:06 for the state's most comprehensive election night coverage. Metro News Television, Metro News Radio, WVMetroNews.com, social media. We get it all covered for you. And I want to hear from you coming up at 2:30 this afternoon on Open Line West Virginia. Give me some stories from the election or from the polling places. And good, bad? As I said, if it's bad, you probably should tell the Secretary of State's office or your county clerk, not me. But when you went to vote, if you voted on Election Day, a lot of people there had to wait. Not a lot of people there. Just let me know. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. We'll get to those on Open Line West Virginia at the bottom of the hour. There's been a lot of talk about the price of gas. It's something everybody's talking about, as the old saying goes about the weather. Everybody talks about it, but nobody does anything about it. Well, yesterday, President Trump came out and said he would at least entertain a pause on the federal gas tax. A week or so ago, I guess, West Virginia, maybe a little bit longer, the West Virginia House Democrats and the West Virginia House Freedom Caucus two organizations that you would never think would be on the same page about where to order lunch. We're actually on the same page about this. They're asking for a moratorium on the gas tax in the state of West Virginia. Sounds like a good idea, but with that comes some issues. Jason Pizatella is the CEO of the he's the CEO of the Contractors Association of West Virginia. And he joins us now to talk about it. Jason, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Dave. Thanks for having me on the program. Happy primary election day to you.
Happy primary election to those that celebrate, and hope everybody does. By the way, when I went outside, I passed Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes in the hall, and he says you owe him a phone call. So I'm just letting you know.
That is true. I do. And I'm just also glad to hear that your allergies did not start attacking you the moment you went outside, because it has for some people this week.
It's really weird. I guess it's just because I'm a strange individual, but this pollen season has not been bad at all for me. Nothing. My wife is suffering. Amanda, Jeff, everybody's suffering. I have not suffered at all. My vehicle, on the other hand, looks like it was dive bombed by about 5,000 pigeons right now with that, plus all of the pollen that's fallen on as well. My charcoal gray vehicle isn't looking very, very, very charcoal grayish right now. But anyway, it's beside the point. All right, so I know that you and I talked yesterday. You're on the road. You know what gas prices are. They continue to go up. Many experts are saying that if this situation continues with the Iran war, that possibly by the 1st of June, we could be well over $5 a gallon in certain areas. Everybody wants the prices to come down. You're saying if we put a moratorium, though, on the gas tax in West Virginia, that it could create some issues.
Yeah, I think it will, Dave. As you and I talked a few weeks ago on this show, and I wrote in an op-ed piece about a month or so ago now about this concept. I think there are two main issues. One is that it jeopardizes the investments that the state is making and will make in the very near future in our transportation infrastructure by pausing the gas tax, whether it's short term or temporary term. But also, maybe more importantly, in this debate, at least the most recent debate, now that President Trump has waded into it, and I saw yesterday where State Treasurer Larry Pack also waded into the debate, is that there really is no guarantee that a moratorium on the gas tax will have the impact on gas prices. You know, there are 4 states so far that have done it in the last year: Kentucky, Indiana, Georgia, and Utah. And while the data is not quite complete yet, it hasn't shown a dramatic reduction in gas prices because of all of the factors that go into making up the price of gas. So I get it. It's election season. I am sympathetic, very sympathetic, and our members are too, to the price of fuel, because we drive trucks and we drive machinery. So the price of gasoline and the price of diesel fuel affects our industry quite dramatically. But we think that the trade-off is just too risky if you were to pause the tax, because once you pause the tax, sometimes it's really hard to bring it back, at least bring it back in the same manner. And because of all the challenges we have with West Virginia's infrastructure, we think it's just a risky move that is outweighed by the investments we need to make in our infrastructure, and the political impact of it is probably minimal, if best.
Talking again with Jason Pizatella, the CEO of the Contractors Association of West Virginia. All right, yesterday I had on the show the House Minority Leader Sean Hornbuckle, and also had on State Democratic Party Chair on today's show about 30 minutes ago, State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin, and they are both calling for this, that they'd like to see it, but they say that the money is there, Jason, that the money is there to be able to cover this.
Well, and Sean and I talked about this, and I assume what they're referring to is the general revenue surplus that the state has been running pretty consistently for the past couple of years. Assuming that's what they're referring to, and not necessarily the use of the rainy day fund. But let's not forget, the legislature has already decided how they are going to spend the unappropriated general revenue surplus by appropriating it the way they did back in mid-March, where they added some surplus dollars to cover infrastructure priorities. But again, those are priorities that were already planned by the administration. And so from what I understand from talking to the Commissioner of Highways is, the state gas tax generates anywhere from $30 to $40 million a month for West Virginia's road fund, depending on what the price of gas is. And the commissioner has to plan for how the highway program is going to spend those dollars over the years And if that gets disrupted in any way, big or small, I think what it does is it calls into question the stability of some of the road and highway and bridge improvements that the state plans to do. So I understand. I heard the comments from Delegate Hornbuckle and Delegate Pushkin, but again, from our perspective, I think it's just too risky at this point.
Well, and I do want to say that you're not the only person who's saying this outside West Virginia, because in other states, other people have also made the same argument. I was listening to a discussion on the federal level about it when somebody in another state was saying basically the same thing about their particular state, that it could. And we talk about these projects. Now, I've got some numbers here, and these are from last month, so they've probably been changed a little bit since then. But at this time, about a month or so ago, there were about 299 active road projects with an additional 529 planned projects. And this was as of last month. Those numbers may have fluctuated a little bit since then. So you're talking about if we start pausing this money, that some of those projects are going to be in jeopardy.
Yeah, they absolutely will be. And I just came from a nationwide meeting of the Transportation Construction Coalition in Washington, and we were literally sitting in a ballroom talking about this exact same issue when the story came across the news that President Trump had finally waded into it. And, not surprised, given what's happening throughout the country and throughout the world right now. I just always hate to politicize something like the gas tax. I mean, we've got neighbors and friends that are constantly saying, hey, the price of gasoline is really getting out of control for our families. And we believe that as soon as this conflict in the Persian Gulf wraps up, that gas prices will come back down. And I mean, I wish I had a magic wand or any politician had a magic wand that could just wave it and say, if the gas tax goes away, gas prices will immediately go down. And that's just not the case based on the data, because West Virginia's gas tax is made up of two different components, right? You have a flat rate that's been the same since 2017 at 20.5 cents a gallon, and you have a variable rate that changes every year based on the average wholesale price of fuel. So many factors that go into this debate, Dave, and I think they all ought to be thoughtfully considered. But before the legislature or the U.S. Congress, for that matter, decides to pause the gas tax, we really need to contemplate the long-term implications of such a policy decision, especially when the short-term implications are going to be so modest.
And on a national level, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the president has to have congressional approval to be able to do that. Is that right?
Yeah, he does. And the federal gas tax hasn't changed since 1993, and the Federal Highway Trust Fund has been running a deficit for almost 2 decades. So and what I mean by that is the user fees that we pay into the Federal Highway Trust Fund are not enough to cover the obligations that the federal government has through the Federal Highway Administration. So what that means is Congress would have to, just like West Virginia's legislature, would have to transfer funds from the general fund to make up the difference. Congress would have to do the exact same thing to do that, to make up the difference. And so I know Governor Morrisey has said that he would, that he requires legislative action to take that type of step. And whether the legislature entertains that obviously is up to them. But I think from the construction industry's perspective, we've been on record very strongly, as well as our national chapter, the American Road Transportation Builders Association, that a step like that is just too risky. And we think that the problems that are caused by it outweigh the short-term political gain, the short-term price gains at the pump.
Before we let you go, it is construction season. We finally got the winter behind us. Finally, I think. I don't know. Every now and then I think, well, maybe it'll snow again. I don't know, because with the winter we had. But hopefully it's behind us. There's road projects going on. There's so on and so forth happening out there. What's the outlook for construction for your folks in West Virginia right now, Jason?
It's busy. It's busy. Our members are out there working. The governor said a few weeks ago that he wanted all the potholes patched by the end of May. There are some very large highway and bridge projects that are underway right now, not just here in the Kanawha Valley, but also statewide. And there's several more that are getting ready to get underway. And, I represent an industry, Dave, that among many industries that really values stability, right? Stability and how the highway construction program is going to look on a year-to-year basis. And that's why user fees like the gas tax help our industry have that type of stability, because we know how much, we have to plan for. and it's busy. And our industry supports anywhere from about 22,000 jobs across the entire association, but on the highway and bridge side, about 10,000. And those are men and women that are out there working daily. And if there's a disruption of any kind in the funding mechanism, that could jeopardize their jobs. And we want to keep them out there working. We also want to keep them out there working safely. So I'll take this time to say, hey, look, make sure you obey the posted speed limit and don't drive distracted in a work zone, because that's where that man or woman is making their living, is right there.
And, you know, the listeners, Jason, have heard me say this on these work zones with the posted speed limit. Sometimes it'll say, you know, slow down to 55 or whatever, and you practically get run over by people. And, you know, just slow down, obey the signs. It's not that hard.
Yeah, that's right. It is, and the men and women that are out there working in the highway construction zones sure do appreciate it when people obey the posted speed limit, because it's posted that way not just for their safety, the worker safety, but also for the driver safety.
Jason Pizatella, the Contractors Association of West Virginia CEO. Appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure, Dave. Thanks for having me.
You as well. It is 2:19. West Virginia's on the rise. New businesses, new opportunities, and a strong, resilient workforce leading the way. Check out the full story. WVNrich.com, a video presentation sponsored by Huntington Bank. Proud to be investing in the future of West Virginia. Open Line West Virginia is coming up at the bottom of the hour. Nothing but your calls and texts. What is on your mind? I kind of threw it out there for you to weigh in on the election if you want to. You can call me or you can text me. Text line 304-TALK, 304-304-TALK, 304. Or you can call at 1-800-765-TALK, 1-800-765-8255. If you voted on this election day, polls open at 6:30 this morning. Will remain open till 7:30 tonight. Or maybe if you early voted, what was it like? Everything going as it should? Were there long lines? Were there no lines at all? You just walked right in? What were the poll workers eating? Because let me tell you, I was joking about this earlier in the show with Secretary of State Chris Warner, but as somebody who used to cover elections, I'll tell you, it's a long day, but you won't starve to death in a polling place because they've always got food. Now, I don't think that as a voter, you're supposed to partake in the food, but I'm just saying, everything from pizza to pinto beans to pies, all the peas. They have it all at your local polling place. We'll have all the coverage of the elections tonight. 7:06 is your start time. We got crews in Morgantown. We got people in all 55 county courthouses. We got folks here in Charleston. Local elections all around the state of West Virginia. There's a lot of municipal elections. There are, of course, you know about the races in the House of Delegates and Senate, but there's other things such as Board of Education, county commission races, mayoral races, as I said, all that being covered tonight, and we will cover it for you on air and online, WVMetroNews.com, the single most accurate election numbers anywhere at WVMetroNews.com. We'll have it on the radio for you, on the social media sites, and on Metro News Television as well. 2:21, Metro News Midday, produced by Stephanie Pauley and Ryan Nicholson, and brought to you by the folks at Salango Law. We'll take a break and come back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
What does it mean to lead in medicine? J.W. Ruby Memorial Hospital is the top hospital in West Virginia, nationally recognized for 3 programs and 18 procedures and conditions. But to us, leadership means being first in care, in lives saved, in lives restored. In medicine, we lead in the ways that truly matter.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
On the next State of Minds.
I think if it wasn't for West Virginia, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Rhine has been rising over Seneca Rocks for millions of years. I wanted to capture it in a way that was authentic and maybe different than people have ever seen it before.
.225 Tuesday afternoon, primary election day. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair. Ryan Nicholson, Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Election day stories. And that's what, did you go vote today? Did you do early votes? Good, bad, indifferent? Tell us the situation out there. By the way, it's always a good day when I could make Dave Wilson, a co-host of Metro News Talk Line, when I could make him spit out his drink. And he sent me a text there during the break, and apparently he liked my line about from pizza to pinto beans. I'm a witty guy, Dave. What can I say? But it is true. When it comes to the polling places, there's always food. And one thing I learned in my time in state government and working for the West Virginia Secretary of State's office is the amount of different places in West Virginia that people vote. The county that I grew up in, primarily, I'm going to say 80, 90% of all the polling places were in schools, a couple in community centers. But when I was working for that office and you look at where polling places are in West Virginia, and there's nothing wrong with it, I went up in, what county was that in? I want to say Mason County, when the polling place was in a barn, literally in a barn. There were a few that were in people's homes. Fire stations, very popular. Tire shop or two. Don't know that I saw any in restaurants. I don't know. Bars would be interesting if they had them in a bar, but they're kind of all over the place. And I remember covering one particular election, and, there are certain towns in West Virginia that are on the border, depending on where you are in said town as to what county you are in. Well, at one time, the city of Montgomery, which is on the Kanawha-Fayette County line, I think they've moved their city hall since then, but at one time, that was half of the city hall literally was in Fayette County and half was in Kanawha County. The line for the county went literally right through City Hall. And so I had an assignment when I was in state government to go and just check on early voting. And so I walk in to the City Hall, and I walk in, and I am in Fayette County when I'm in one side of the building, and I'm in Kanawha County when I'm on the other side of the building. And I remember talking with one of the ladies, how's it going? You had any issues and anything I can help you with or whatever. And the lady said to me, she said, well, this is Fayette County. We never have problems. You might want to talk to those people in Kanawha County. They've always got issues, which I just thought was a great line. Every Wednesday on the show, we do a thing we call Wonderful West Virginian, where we go out in search of great people doing great things in their community. You got somebody who's doing something for youth sports, we want to hear about it. Somebody who's doing something great with the recovery community, working with the homeless, working with pet issues, cleaning up litter, whatever the case is, we want to hear about it. The Wonderful West Virginian Award, we do that during the 1 o'clock hour every Wednesday. Drop us an email, midday@wvmetronews.com, midday@wvmetronews.com. Reach out to me on social media, Dave Allen Radio on Facebook, or at Dave A70 on X, or you can reach out to Amanda as well. Amanda Barron, the birthday girl, who had to leave us a little bit early today to go get things covered for her television station. She'll be back with us tomorrow. But yes, Amanda is celebrating a birthday today. And I'm going to tell you, I did a little digging. I've known Amanda for 20 years. I got a killer picture of Amanda Barron as a young girl that I stole from somebody. I might just post it. It's Metro News Midday. And now we'll go to the Metro News anchor desk for a check of local news. You're listening to Midday on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Got you your latest forecast on a Tuesday. Yesterday, cooler than average by 6 degrees in Charleston for both the high and the low. Got to 69 for our high and just enough rain for a number. 1/100th of an inch recorded at the gauge at Charleston. Today we're dry, plenty of sunshine, fair to mostly sunny skies for our area today. Up in high elevations, started the day with another one of those frost advisory and freeze warnings. We have a warming trend on the way and also a cold front on the way tomorrow. So I'll be timing multiple rounds of rain and potential thunderstorms. Later in the afternoon, we are included most of the state. Find your spot on the map here. Marginal risk in the dark green for isolated severe storms. Damaging winds will be a possibility with any isolated severe storm potential tomorrow. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Chicago, they got a marginal risk today. They're near 77, then 61 behind the front the next day. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 70 to the north, dry, sunny to mostly sunny, and likely dry tonight. Slight chance of a shower late before rain showers become likely for the morning. And then later in the afternoon with that risk of severe. Eastern areas, some 60s out there. Elsewhere, far eastern portions of the state, low to mid 70s today with sunshine. Lows in the 50s, not nearly as cold tonight. From east to west, a lot of 70s in here, some middle and upper 70s, and lows around 50 or so tonight, so not nearly as cold. For southern areas, some mid to upper 70s to the west. Charleston near 78 for your high and 54 for your low overnight. So becoming cloudy, multiple rounds of showers and storms. Possible for Wednesday, breezy southwest winds, dry 63 on Thursday in Charleston, and then warmer from there. Very slight chances for showers and storms as we heat up, 92 on Sunday, and potentially some daily record heat early next week, 94 on Monday, potentially with sunshine for your early next week.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
On the next State of Minds.
I think if it wasn't for West Virginia, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Rhine has been rising over Seneca Rocks for millions of years. I wanted to capture it in a way that was authentic and maybe different than people have ever seen it before.
With Metro News Hotline, If it's trending, it's probably here.
So it's Dennis, it's Rodman degrees out there today.
Oh, that sounds really uncomfortable.
I know it does. I know it does.
Is that legal? Is that past FCC? I don't know if you're allowed to say anything's Rodman something. That's
it's Rodman degrees.
That's like saying it's awful Diddy out there. I don't know that we can do that.
Yeah. Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 o'clock, open line, West Virginia. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. I was perusing the headlines there during the break, as I am ought to do, whatever. I was looking at them. And I saw there was a report of an NBA player that had passed away, and I am not the biggest NBA fan in the world, to be honest with you, so if it's not probably the top 5 or 6 players in the league, I probably don't know who they are, and sure enough, all due respect, I had never heard of this gentleman, but I did read the story. Are we ever going to get to the point as a society that whenever someone passes away and it's posted on social media, and this was a report, I think, from the New York Post is what I saw. Are we ever going to get to the point where we stop asking were they vaccinated? I mean, this was a 20-something-year-old guy that passed away. Tragedy for his teammates or for his family or whatever. But I just clicked on the story and all the comments, was he vaccinated? Was he vaccinated? I mean, are we ever going to get by that? I mean, I just got word a minute ago that a lady that was very near and dear to my heart in southern West Virginia, had done a lot of things in the past, different community promotions and whatever, had passed away. Never occurred to me to text the family or call them and go, hey, I'm sorry, was she vaccinated? I mean, are we ever going to get by that? I mean, really? I don't know. 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says, I was at Southridge Shopping Center, editor's note for those that don't know. It's outside Charleston. And saw a black helicopter land in the Roca's parking lot, restaurant there. I look up at the tail numbers, and it's registered to Phoenix Coal Company out of Lexington, Kentucky. Here I thought coal companies were struggling, and this company's using a helicopter to grab lunch. Go figure, says a texter. I got nothing. Text says, remember Mon County school levy for non-charter public schools is on the ballot today with the recent Hope Scholarship in flux. Our schools need all the money they can get. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Texas helped by move the mouse there. Text says, I grew up in Ohio, and our schools were open on Election Day back in the 1980s. The school PTA moms would have a back sale. I think it's maybe supposed to be a bag sale or bake sale. That's what it is, bake sale, a back sale. They would have a bake sale, and the voters would buy a lot, and it went right back to the kids' school. Missing opportunities here. LOL. That text came in earlier, and I think Amanda actually commented to the texter because we saw it on the screen earlier before she had to leave. I do not remember in my growing up years in southern West Virginia ever being in school on Election Day. I can remember the day before because I am even then, such a political geek that when they brought those big giant machines, we're not talking about these computer monitors that they have now, folks. We're talking 1975, 76, when they brought these big old machines in and they put them over in the corner of the lunchroom. I was just thinking, man, that is the coolest thing ever, and I wish I could vote. And those machines were huge. Those, what I'm talking about, the old classic voting machines. They kind of had the curtain attached to them, and you had to pull that lever and you could do the straight ticket if you wanted to. And those were the days. I had a political operative tell me one time in southern West Virginia, I didn't have to tell you, probably it was from southern West Virginia, that said, we used to have a lot of fun back in on Election Day until those people with the Secretary of State's office ruined it. And this wasn't on the current Secretary of State. This was years and years, several Secretaries of States ago. But I just thought that was interesting. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says, I do not have a crystal ball, but I do have a magic 8-ball, and it says outlook good, says the texter. Text, it's going to be a bad election night for the governor. That's all I'm saying. He'll wish he hadn't got involved in the election. Well, I don't know. I don't, and again, write this down, and you can come back tomorrow and tell me I was totally wrong, which I've been many, many times in my life. I don't think that it's going to be a whitewash for either side. We've come to call them Team Takubo and Team Morrissey. I don't think either side's going to declare total victory here. I think you'll see a little of both. Text says this election has brought out the absolute worst in people. I'm a Republican who still believes in the party, but I'm wondering if I want to continue with the party after this. Text, I voted this morning and it went great. I'd like to note the cool stickers, which include designs from West Virginia students as part of the Secretary of State's I Voted sticker contest. Bravo to these students and their winning designs, says a texter. Text, last election, I was so frustrated trying to get results from other West Virginia counties. I'm in Monongalia County, says texter. Secretary of State site wasn't updated or even working, and Metro News had no local coverage. Can you help? I don't know that the last election I was working the local election here in Charleston for the WCHS, but I'm sure I'm sure it'll be better. I was not aware of that. Text says, where's Congresswoman Carol Miller been? She's been totally missing this entire election cycle. Last she gave any interview was last July. Then she told the media she didn't know about the water issues in southern West Virginia. I've seen a couple television commercials for Carol Miller, but I haven't seen. I know that she's always welcome on this show, but I can tell you, unless I'm wrong, I don't think she's ever done Metro News Midday, which goes back to last March. And my local show in Charleston, which airs 9 to 10 on our flagship WCHS, I think she's been on one time. But, she's always welcome. Text, I hate that gas prices are as high as they are, but something has to be done with Iran. I'm willing to pay a little more at the pump for my country. Are you? Producer Stephanie tells me that Carol Miller was on this show at one point. Okay, I stand corrected. She was on Midday once. So I'm 1 for 1 with Congresswoman Carol Miller. She was on my local show in Charleston once, and she was on Metro News Midday one time. Somebody sent me a picture of a mask and said the last remnants of COVID, says the texter. It just seems to me like that was like a lifetime ago when we were all like wearing masks. And I do hear people say when the world was all shut down, well, some of us work no matter what. My world never shut down. I didn't miss a single day of work. But I was fortunate enough to be in that position. Matter of fact, we probably worked harder during COVID. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says, way to go, Melody Potter, a voice of reason. I referenced this earlier. The former state Republican Party chair, Melody Potter, did I don't want to call it an op-ed. I saw it on Facebook. I don't know if that's where it originated. I don't know where. She, like Mike Stewart yesterday, who we had on the show, was basically saying that they were very disappointed in the current Republican Party, or at least in this election cycle. Text said, ask Mike what he thinks Chris Pritt means in his ads when he wants to crush the woke trans DEI left. Does that mean the GOP prefers sleep cis white right? Says the texter. Text, need to ask the people that asked that if their parents were related. When I said that about people asking about was somebody vaccinated, that's what they are referring to. Text, I remember my mom coming into my school to vote on the old voting machines with levers when I was in gym class. The machines were in the ground level basement entrance right off the gym. We always got off election day. But remember, I'm from Logan County, which that's a busy day in the liquor industry, or at least it was then. 2:43, Open Line, West Virginia. We will take a break and come back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
What does it mean to lead in medicine? J.W. Ruby Memorial Hospital is the top hospital in West Virginia, nationally recognized for 3 programs in 18 procedures and conditions. But to us, leadership means being first in care, in lives saved, in lives restored. In medicine, we lead in the ways that truly matter.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
With Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have 2 vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. 13 away from 3 on a Tuesday afternoon. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nichols, and our producers today. Open line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Text 304-TALK, 304. Text says, what happens if Takubo's wing wins multiple races, but Takubo himself goes down after getting nearly $1 million spent against him? Who are some of the replacements who step in to try to be Senate president? Well, I don't know. I hate to speculate on such things. I've heard a few names thrown out there, but there'll be plenty of time for that speculation coming tomorrow. And again, if you have not yet voted, remember, polls open until 7:30 tonight. Text. Text to Dave, just wanted to let people know, since the Republicans took over 12 years ago, your utilities have doubled, your roads will not be paved, your food prices have doubled, your clothing has doubled, your gas has risen to almost $5 a gallon, and lost over 1,500 coal jobs. West Virginia, one of the worst economies in the country. West Virginia needs change now. Well, appreciate the text. Several of those things had absolutely nothing to do with anybody in the state level, Republican or Democrat. Text, I'll be so glad when all these ugly mailers stop. God don't like ugly. Text, I am an independent and voted Democrat in this election and will in the fall, too. Text, where is Joe Manchin? West Virginia needs him now. I don't know. I don't like to engage in political rumors and things of that nature. But I will say this: someone today who I was talking politics with brought up an interesting scenario. What if Joe Manchin were to return to West Virginia and to run for governor now in 2028? Now, with all due respect, Joe could beat me in a barroom fight. He could outrun me. All due respect to Joe Manchin, okay? But, Joe Manchin has got a little age on him, and that's okay. Like I said, I'm just saying, it's a fact. I don't know that he would want it, to be honest with you. I mean, he talked about the swamp in Washington and that he wasn't happy there. He went independent. I don't know that Joe Manchin would want it, to be honest with you. But who knows? 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text happy birthday, Amanda Barron. I'm about sick of hearing about Amanda Barron at this point, to be honest with you. I'm about sick of it. I'm kidding. Happy birthday, AB. Text, I heard a caller today say women are not in danger of losing rights. Yes, they are. Here's right-winger that's pushing it for Pastor Wilson Christian nationalist Pete Hegseth. No women in combat. Pastor Sumter John Gibbs, Trump appointee to HUD. Abby Johnson, anti-abortion activist. I could go on and on, says the texter. Text, beautiful day. Not as much traffic on the road because of the election. Today'd be a great day to patch some potholes, except for the workers are off today for the most part. Text, I'm outraged about Kanawha County Board of Education having to give new charter school in Marmet over $1 million of public school money. That's why our schools are closing in eastern Kanawha County. Text, voted this morning, Kanawha County, easy peasy, and love showing my photo ID to vote. Text, I pay taxes for defense of our country. I should not have to pay more at the pump, says a texter. Text, today is May 12th, 2026, and the medians on 7th Avenue in North Charleston haven't been mowed. Grass is 3 feet tall. What's going on? Says the texter. Don't blame me. Text says November can't get here soon enough. Can't wait to vote blue. Text, I think all races should be like the Supreme Court and judges' races where you can't talk badly about your opponent. Oh, and get rid of the out-of-state dark money, too, says a texter. Text, conservative scare tactic propaganda is so good that it has conservatives scared into accepting high gas prices, says the texter. Text, Dave, you guys are going all out to sensationalize this little spot in the Republican Party. Little spat, I should say. They corrected it, little spat. This kind of stuff has been going on for years and years. It's just never been quite as open. Good point. And I have said that. Yes and no. It has been going on. As I said, governors, senators, other elected officials have always picked up the phone, may have sent a telegram back in the day, I don't know, and said, hey, we really need to get this guy in as a delegate. We really need to get this guy in as senator. Need your help. This is who I need on my team. It's always gone on. But I just don't know, as the texter said, I don't know that it's been that open in the past. And we certainly haven't seen it with the outside money coming into West Virginia. That's new. Now, there's been PACs on the inside of West Virginia, yes, but with this outside groups coming in, yeah, that's kind of a new thing. And I am going to be interested to see what happens come fall, because, as Delegate Pushkin, State Democratic Party chair, said, there are several contested Democratic primaries in West Virginia. We have one in particular here where we are in Kanawha County. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen come November with some of these high profile, and the polls are still open, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen between now and 7:30, but there's one particular race, and so I can't be accused of trying to sway people. I won't tell you, but there's one particular race in West Virginia that's going to get a lot of national attention come November, if it plays out like I think it will. Text says, please let the independents stop crying about the primary now. Well, if they're upset about it, they're probably going to still be upset about it until the next primary election, unless it's changed. And I don't see any signs that it will be. That will wrap it up. We'll take a break and be back after this.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZL Milne Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZL Milne, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
What does it mean to lead in medicine? J.W. Ruby Memorial Hospital is the top hospital in West Virginia, nationally recognized for 3 programs in 18 procedures and conditions. But to us, leadership means being first in care, in lives saved, in lives restored. In medicine, we lead in the ways that truly matter.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
On the next State of Minds,
I think if it wasn't for West Virginia, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Ryan has been rising over Seneca Rocks for millions of years. I wanted to capture it in a way that was authentic and maybe different than people have ever seen it before.
State Forester and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the show. A reminder that Metro News election coverage will begin tonight at 7:06 on the radio, online, wvmetronews.com, and on Metro News Television as well. Hotline coming up on many of these same Metro News stations. Dale Cooper's here. How you doing, man?
If I don't choke, I'm doing okay. Can't complain too much. One of the things I'm really looking forward to today, for the first time, I think in about 8 years, we're going to have back Joe Sheehan, which I don't know if you know the name or not, but he's one of the best baseball writers in the country, up there with Joe Posnowski and all these other guys. Haven't had him on for a long time. We're going to talk some baseball with Joe Sheehan today. I'm looking forward to that. Plus, Joe Stevens is going to join us as well to talk about the Baltimore Orioles. It's going to be a big show. Good show on a Tuesday, Steelers Depot, to talk about what's going on in the NFL, and we'll wrap up some stuff on the NFL or in the NBA playoffs, too.
Hotline coming up on many of the same Metro News stations. Producer Stephanie and Ryan, thank you so much. Remember, Metro News coverage of Decision 2026 begins at 7:06 tonight. Download the Metro News television app if you haven't already. Hoppy Kurtzwell tells me we got all kinds of pretty graphics we're going to put up. We don't know what they mean.
I've seen a couple of them. They're nice.
Look at that. That's pretty. That's pretty. So be sure and check us out tonight. Polls open till 7:30 in West Virginia. If you haven't voted, get out there, do it. I'll be back again tomorrow. Metro News Midday. Happy birthday, Amanda. Till later. Have fun. I love somebody.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Got you your latest forecast on a Tuesday. Yesterday, cooler than average by 6 degrees in Charleston for both the high and the low. Got to 69 for our high and just enough rain for a number. 1/100th of an inch recorded at the gauge at Charleston. Today we're dry, plenty of sunshine, fair to mostly sunny skies for our area today. Up in high elevations, started the day with another one of those frost advisory and freeze warnings. We have a warming trend on the way and also a cold front on the way tomorrow. So I'll be timing multiple rounds of rain and potential thunderstorms. Later in the afternoon, we are included most of the state. Find your spot on the map here. Marginal risk in the dark green for isolated severe storms. Damaging winds will be a possibility with any isolated severe storm potential tomorrow. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. Chicago, they got a marginal risk today. They're near 77, then 61 behind the front the next day. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 70 to the north, dry, sunny to mostly sunny, and likely dry tonight. Slight chance of a shower late before rain showers become likely for the morning, and then later in the afternoon with that risk of severe. Eastern areas, some 60s out there. Elsewhere, far eastern portions of the state, low to mid 70s today with sunshine. Lows in the 50s, not nearly as cold tonight. From east to west, a lot of 70s in here, some middle and upper 70s, and lows around 50 or so tonight, so not nearly as cold. For southern areas, some mid to upper 70s to the west. Charleston near 78 for your high and 54 for your low overnight. So becoming cloudy, multiple rounds of showers and storms. Possible for Wednesday, breezy southwest winds, dry 63 on Thursday in Charleston, and then warmer from there. Very slight chances for showers and storms as we heat up, 92 on Sunday, and potentially some daily record heat early next week, 94 on Monday, potentially with sunshine for your early next week.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. For your entertainment, Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Or call 800-765-8255. Once again, filling in for Dave Weekly is Dale Cooper.
I like how the Cowabunga thing is sort of my signature call that Matt puts together. I kind of like that. It's pretty good. Thanks for tuning into the program today. This is Dale Cooper sitting in for Dave Weekly for a few more days. Dave will be back on Monday. But thank you so much for tuning in today. We have a big show coming up for you on the Metro News Radio Network. Maybe a little bit of a pause before you have to worry about the election results tonight and things like that. So we're going to talk about a lot of the sports and other things in here today, and hopefully give you a little entertainment on your drive home, give you some mental breathing room after contemplating your ballot for hours upon hours today and casting your vote. And we appreciate your civic duty for doing that, and hopefully we can give you a little bit of a break as you're driving home, listening in the car. Maybe it's appointment radio as you're sitting around your house. It's hard to tell. But thanks for tuning in to Metro News Hotline wherever you are today, either over the air in the state of West Virginia or worldwide online. Thanks for tuning in today. Joining me today in studio with me, we have Ryan Nicholson for a little while. How you doing?